Okay, guys. All right. Thank you for joining the sessions. Okay, this is week 1, practical session for group 5, right? Betul. Group 5. Okay. So we have around how many people basically join us? 8, 9. All right. So practical session. Okay, week 1, group 5. Okay, we straight away start the sessions lah, right? Huh? Okay, anyone who actually want to join later, okay, just let me know. Oh, we have around what, 12, 12 or 11? 11 students basically join, all right? Okay, bagus, good. All right, so as I mentioned to you guys, okay, I'm using basically the old version of Macromedia Flash Professional 8, which is a mother of what we call that, Adobe Animate. Okay, before Adobe basically bought Macromedia Flash directly, this is basically the interface itself, okay? So the interface is quite very old kind of stuff, like old style directly, very light kind of stuff. Okay, it doesn't have any tak macam very quite exclusive lah, right? Okay, so but basically it works. All right, it works. Okay, professionally it could be done there. Okay. So what you see right now, okay, when I open up my Dune document, same goes like any other applications lah. Okay, they will ask you guys, okay, which template, which kind of what we call that format they're going to use. For us, all right, generally, if you are open up document for Adobe Animate later on, they will ask you, right, okay, whether you want to use Full HD like this. 1920, 1080. 1920, 1920, 1080. Okay, so remember basically this format size there, okay, format file, because I think you guys have been working with video before this, right? So you should know basically the right format and then jump to work with your assignments. Okay, that's the thing. So another things basically that you guys have to understand, the frame rate. Frame rate basically, okay, is a 30 frame rate. Okay, they normally basically use nowadays. But for animations, we're still using 25 frame rate per second. That means for 1 second, they run 25 frames, but not exactly 25 drawings. But Disney, if you watch basically Disney Snow White, okay, the around 1940s, right, or 50s, there, right, they're using basically the 25 frame rates per second. That's why basically they look a bit more like smooth kind of rotoscoping kind of style there, right? Okay. But after that, Disney actually come out. The animators of Disney come out with a post-to-post animation. So the animation look more snappy, and also they look more exaggerate a little bit, more interesting kind of look lah. Okay. Dia tak adalah very slow, more like a very soft kind of motion there, right? Okay. It doesn't have that kind of aesthetical kind of what we call that feeling of that draft principle itself. Okay. So the thing is right now, okay, this is basically what you're supposed to understand first, okay, to works. Click OK. So this is basically your stage. Okay, the stage frame basically that you're going to work with your kind of what we call that design works or animation works here. We have also timeline, macam Photoshop, right? Okay, Photoshop nowadays there's a timeline, right? They have a timeline over here. Normally for Adobe Animate, sometimes they actually going to arrange at the downwards over here, there, okay, below the what we call that the interface, and then the tools itself, they can be rearranged lah in other side if you want to, there, right? Okay. And the most important thing about the tools that we're going to learn right here, okay, first of all, this is the move tool. Any normal kind of tools, right? You guys have seen before. The way to control basically the what we call that, the tool itself, okay, on keyboard, we're still using basically the like shortcut key. P for brushes, for example, B for brushes, control for change to arrow, control key, okay, to to create into arrow like this one, right? Okay, the move tools, selection tools. All right, I use a lot of shortcut key lah. Shortcut key, if you click B on the keyboard there, right? They go to brush tools. Okay, this is the one that we want to go through. Pencil tool. You guys can see the right pencil tools over here to do the line works. But normally I didn't draw using this one. I only using this one to block or to fill in the colors later on, right? Okay, because I'm using that one to block basically some of the areas there. Okay, to combine some of the areas so I can fill in basically the colors for the shape itself. So I'm not actually recommend you guys to draw using pencil. Ingat, this is not basically like a normal pencil that you guys use for sketching, right? This is basically an animate or animations or vector-based kind of pencils. So it's not quite reliable, especially there, okay? If you're not good enough on working with your kind of shapes there. That's the thing. Okay, the tool that you have to remember for today that you can practice, okay, after this, okay, before we're going to meet each other next week there, right, is brush tools. Okay, you can try all these kind of tools lah. This text kind of tools basically, okay, the A icon there, okay, is drawing a text, okay, write down the text there, right. Any lasso tools normally I hardly use. Don't worry, it's a selection tool also there, okay. Line tool also I hardly use. Okay, these scale tools, okay, freeform transform, okay, we can use a lot on right here when it comes to scale there, right. But the shortcut key for this one is Q. Okay, if there is a changes on the shortcut key there, okay, this is basically what I because when I actually have the interface, when I open up basically the animate, okay, later on in our classroom, I can show lah, right, okay, maybe there's a bit kind of changes on shortcut key. Sometimes, okay, when to go for the free transform tools, you have to click Control or alternate Q, maybe lah, right, okay, a bit kind of changes lah. All these kind of changes they made, first of all, because of the copyright kind of issue. So when they bought basically the whole package of this Adobe Flash, okay, then transform into Adobe Animate, there's a copyright issue lah sometimes. So they change a bit so they can save from there lah. That's basically the thing that you guys will learn hopefully in Art Law lah later on, right? Okay, guys. Other thing is this one, right? Okay, the paint bucket. Paint bucket, if I'm not mistaken lah, okay, a bit different lah. The key kind of activated, okay, for this paint bucket. Normally for Adobe Animate, there's another extra kind of what we call that folders there, okay. They will basically provide for you right here. All right. But today we focus on this one. And the first layer that you open up on your timeline and your score kind of frame rates over here, okay, is the first kind of what you have to select this one there first before you can draw something from here. Okay. And this one basically your color fill, color strokes. You can change the colors over here if you want to. Normally for drawings, I will use light colors lah. Right, okay, for drawing, for sketching, for example, there, okay, I use light color first. And I really rarely going to use black color that guys to draw. They never start with black. Start with gray also okay. Okay, if you really want to practice your drawing skill, all right, start with gray, light kind of tone first. Not too light, like until you cannot see basically your drawing, right? Okay, that's the thing. And of course, okay, the reason why I actually ask you guys to use brush, okay, the reason why, because see, we can draw the characters or the line works more easy, okay, based on the basic shapes. Okay, where, but no need to draw the whole things in the very proper kind of form lah. If you can get basically the strokes, good enough. Okay, another thing that I want to share with you guys. Okay, below basically the tools option for brush, especially when you use tablet, you can use tablet, you cannot use mouse. Never use mouse to draw that, guys. If you really want to improve your line works, your strokes, okay? So what you need to know, all right, if you're not using basically this one, use pressure. Let's just say you not click to this use pressure kind of features there, right? The line will look like this. Nampak? Difference. Okay? Dia tak ada quality of line. There's no quality of line there, guys. Okay? That means, right, the reason why we use these brush tools, because we want to have this one. Use pressure tools here. Everyone can see or not? Please give a icon, respond. Can, huh? Okay, good. Thank you. So that means, right, this one, okay, when you draw, right, see, you get the quality of line. You should have this one. Kalau tak dapat this one, maybe you have problem with your tablet. Okay. Understand, huh? So far, okay. Okay. So, that's all that we need to know. Okay? About today. Okay. Now you can do your work there, right? Okay. So, dah habis dah? Okay, guys. Okay, start back again. So when it comes to develop the drawing, this is basically the thing that you should basically understand. Okay? Never start to draw something like this. Never. All right? Never say never. Never draw like this one, right? This is not the right way for you to start to draw using Adobe Animate, especially using the brush. Please don't draw like this. Come on, guys. Okay? You draw like this, of course, okay, automatic you fail because you're not following the right kind of proper way to develop your drawings. You should draw basically when you put your hand on your brush, okay, you can play with the size. But don't use the very thin kind of line. Ini apa ni? Ini basically, right, if you look back again, if you draw using like this, make sure you have a proper kind of style. But this is not convenient, guys. Come on. Okay? Using basically more thicker decorative brushes, you can actually more fully control of your work. Let's just say you don't like this kind of square. This aesthetical square quite very usable for me to work. So I can use this one. Okay, I want to share with you guys right here how to make an appealing design based on the simple character that fits or shape that fits. Okay, and you can sketch out first, okay, your ideas from here. At the same time, when you draw, click and release the pressure. See, tekan, click and release. That's the thing. Never draw like this. All right, okay. Unless you want to draw a fur ball kind of design, for example. Okay. All right, that's a tips there, okay, to start to work with the brush. And of course, okay, when you design a character, okay, when you actually have designed a shape like this, an object or shape like this, don't forget to group them up. Control G. All right, Control G. Okay, which is we can use basically to control the object. You need to basically there, right? You need generally to group up your object. Each time you draw different kind of what we call it shapes. Why? Because from here, you can make some adjustment later on. When you double click to the object, right? They will go directly to the group. And this area, this particular kind of window, you actually can do a lot of adjustment. Don't do adjustment outside around based on the stage. Okay, on the scene stage there. Okay? Okay, I understand, huh? Right. So right now, okay, to design the characters, of course, you think you understand one thing. Okay, let's just say this one. I don't like this kind of what we call that triangle shapes. I draw it. Why I don't like it, right? There's a million ways that I can explain. Let's just say I want to draw like this one. Oops. All right, the shapes of it. I don't like this one because it doesn't look circle. I adjust basically using Q just now, right? Transform and adjust. See? Easy there, guys. Okay, when you group up the words. Okay, from here I want to scale. Oh, boleh. See? I scale. Adjust. Scale. Can. All right, want to stretch also can. You want to make the scaling a little bit more proper to the radius size there, right? Click shift. If I'm not mistaken, Adobe Animate, they have different kind of features there, right? If I'm not mistaken, for Adobe Animate, you don't have to click shift, but you click shift in order for you to adjust. Here. This is what I remember lah. But we can actually retry back again later on when I actually add the left there, right? Okay. There's a few changes that they made basically, okay, for Adobe Animate a bit lah, tapi still basically they will be almost the same kind of what we call that method that works on it. Okay, so you want to work with the character itself. Okay, for example, create some appealing character. First of all, now design the characters is not that hard. Okay, always start with a 3/4 view, as I mentioned. Let's just say I start with the eyes like this. Never draw the eyes like this first, guys. Please. This is the worst thing happens when you start to design a character. Never and never the right. Okay? This one basically, totally when you design any characters, when you start with a square shaped eye there, okay? Totally you are newbies there. Amateur there, right? Because you don't know what you do there, right? Basically, you don't know what you are doing right now. To make it more better there, okay? Simple, you draw lah, circle ke, or maybe like this a little bit more oval kind of shapes. And then when you group them up, you can duplicate. See? And then you can scale to show basically the different size, different positions. All right. Another thing that you can do, you can also draw, or maybe you can use the circle, scale, and then you put it right here, make a little bit more bigger. Then you duplicate. Duplicate, how is it? Control, alternate. Okay? Control plus ALT. Shortcut key. Then you can duplicate. Click. Shift. And then Q. Adjust. I adjust and also I exaggerate, stretch a little bit there, right? Squash a little bit to make it 3/4 view look there, right? The front view, of course, lah, different. So now I use this one, put right here. But dah jadi character, right? The same goes to this one. Put it right here, 3/4 view. If I want to adjust a little bit more smaller, can. See? I want to make it more bigger, more bolder there, right? Can. Up to you there, guys. I want to make it arrangements a bit more further. Also can. So that's a lot of it there, guys. This is the basic concept, how to start to designing the character. Okay? So design is not that complicated. But the best way to design, I will show you guys later on, the samples. Sketch out first using Photoshop, what we call that. You guys can use also Procreate, okay, for example, or Krita, whatever kind of drawing applications, even though your sketchbooks, to start with your design. And then you snap a photos or you save JPEG files and you can import them inside your library. For example, you click with the library again. Let's just say you want to import your drawing. Which drawing that you want to import? Let's just say I have these drawings over here. I click this one, they will put inside the library. Then I can bring over the sketches over here, see? That's also another way, okay, to work. All right. And of course, when you start to exploring, basically adopt your animate there, okay, don't forget to save your file. That's also most important thing. Save your files. So I'm going to save my files over here. All right, week 1, group 5. Okay, practical sessions there, okay. Okay, so far so good, guys. We have some sketches that I have actually worked before. All right. Luis, basically that one, if you want to raise your hand to ask questions, gunalah ni. Mana? Ni icon ni. Alright. Macam ni. Okay. Hey, what we call that? Yesterday, I bring Luis basically to the burger attack. Okay, burger attack. Last time, normally I will buy, I buy 2 there, right? Okay, for me to eat, right? So maybe you guys can try also later on. Okay, now. So when you start to design the characters over here, okay, when you start to group them up, once basically you want to improve your drawing skill or you improve your character, don't basically do it in the same object. For example, right here, you duplicate first. This is the design process, guys. Okay, you have to remember. You follow exactly how actually do it works. Why? There's a reason why. Because when you start to develop like this, you can actually refer back again the previous kind of work that you have done. Of course, the whole working areas again will be a little bit more like unorganized sometimes, but that's the process of working. But you also can rearrange all those character, the file itself accordingly to your needs. Okay, that's the thing. So group that first, and then for example right here, what are the changes that I want to make? For example, I want to put some highlight. Double click first to the object. Okay, double click to the object that you groups. They will go into the group window there, right? And then you can change the colors over here. I am not, other than using the color swatches, I will use also color mixer basically to work. And then I zoom in, fill in the colors there, highlight. You can see the difference when we put highlight on the character eyes. You see? Tapi the works basically a little bit more free form. Okay, that's basically that I suggest for you guys to work first. And then you can change the colors lah, a bit more darker, tapi not too dark. Okay. For me, right, I will avoid to use black, pure black to design my characters. Okay, for example, right here, if I want to change the colors, okay, into other colors there, right, I can. Okay. This one, the eye colors there, right, okay, maybe using a bit more purplish or greenish there, right. It could be. From here, you want to follow the same colors, you're using eyedropper. This one, eyedropper. You select that first, double click to the next one, and then fill in using the pen bucket. Okay, now you have different colors there. How are you going to color the inside the kind of shapes? You double click to the line, all right, and then you fill in the color there first. Let's just say you have these colors over here. You change a bit, fill in. See? Simple. There you got the characters with the different colors there. Right? You can rechange the colors. Maybe this one a bit more darker. All right, like this. You can rechange it. Okay. Up to you guys. All right. Same goes with these characters that you have. You want to make some changes, you duplicate. Don't do it in the same from the same object, because why? We can actually go through with it. Let's just say this one. Okay, pencil tool. I'm using pencil tool. The shortcut key is Y. Y. So you can change basically the colors over here if you want to. I'm using red because it's more easy contrast. You can see from there. Shadow. We want to create some shadows. Make sure you know basically the process of highlight, the arrangement of highlight, okay, the direction of highlights. Let's just say the highlight came from the side. the source of light. And now I want to cut the shadows over here. Create the shadows right here. Fill in there first. Don't forget to click to the fill in colors features, and then you can add some. Okay, this is the size, the colors there, right? And then you change it. See? There you get the shadow. Yeah. Okay. So every time you want to change, you double click this over here. Highlight, for example, like this. Okay, adjust it. And then brush. Okay, highlight. So you can see the different kind of looks and feel there, okay, when you start to apply the highlights. Doesn't have to make some changes in the same. This is basically your template design. This is basically the one basically make some changes there. All right. Before I go through with this one, I'm still not finishing this one first, right? So if I want to make some body, for example, duplicate. Of course, okay, this area doesn't actually going to be applied when you're rendering, right? Want to make some changes on that. I just say what to use these square shapes here to become a body, and then you scale there first. Okay, put right here, double click, and then you want to use the same colors there, okay? You can use them. Okay, you fill in there first. Like that. All right, maybe the colors is not the same. You use eyedropper, double click, select. All right, and then if you can see from here there, okay, this one. The object basically, right, normally any object that we group, they automatically go in front of the shapes. But not different layer. I don't use different layer there first. I never use different layer. This is not Photoshop there, guys. The reason why I didn't use different layers because easy for us as independent animators to do some arrangement with the work. Because we the one who control the character. Bukan the character control us or the tool control us, okay? This is not AI anymore. Okay? This is basically the conventional way of working. So I will send to back. Simple there, okay? Right click, arrange, send to back. Okay? Make sure you select the object there first. There, send to back. Bye. All right. And then you can color the characters accordingly to your needs. Double click and select them. Okay? On the color itself, select them, and then double click back again to the object, click Y, because the head is bigger than the body there, right? That means the shadow will cover this area. So I fill in the color there first, then put it right here. And then double click to the line, double click to the red line there, right? Strokes, and then delete. There you get basically the body. They look like a mushroom, look like a house, look like a rocket. Okay, from here you want to make some changes. Of course, like okay, this is the design process, right? Make some changes. I just say you don't like this color there, right? So you want to change into red, for example. Go ahead, Tapi bukan black, for the shapes. Then I use shadow, this red color, and then the base color for the body is this one. Highlight is this one. Simple. Okay. Same goes with this one. Double click, select. Okay. Double click, select using eyedropper, and then put right here. Normally in the swatches can see the right. Once you double click once there, okay, or twice, okay, the Adobe Animate normally they are going to be automated, basically fill in your color selections at the bottom of the swatches. Then you can reuse them. All right. This one, right? Let's just say I click eyedroppers. See, the automated kind of colors appears from here. So you don't have to worry about that. You can reuse them. Now the eyes pun tak ngam, right? So I can use basically dark colors here towards. I fill in the dark colors over here. Yeah. Voila. Okay. This is how the process of designing you should basically apply when you work with Adobe Animate. because you can see the chronologies, the histories of how actually do the works. And somehow you save more times in order to develop their design process, thinking. Because normally when you're using the same object to do a lot of changes, you do a lot of thinking process more than you actually do the actions of working. That's why your design kind of process becomes a bit more longer, because you cannot decide, because you don't have that kind of historical visual that you have actually done before. This is basically the conventional way that I use a lot when I develop the character itself. Okay? Okay, guys, huh? Simple, right? Easy peasy. Is it? Come on, Las Luis. This is only a simple character. Huh? You can't draw the anime styles only, okay? But of course, this is only the basic form character that you can start with, guys, to understand the concept of working. Later, you want to draw any characters, I have to remind you only one thing. Simplify your design. Okay? And we have to separate all single part that are important for us to move around the character. Okay? This is not a single file of illustrations. This is a character animation. Okay, the process of working, the discipline of working is different. Okay, even though you design the same character, there for illustration, for animations, a bit more stylized and simplified a bit. Why? Easy for us to move around. Remember, every time when we design the characters, it's our responsible how to move them. You don't want to end up you design nice character but walk like a puppet or like a safe kind of motion. Because the mark will be given not because you design nice character only, appealing character. The mark will be given based on how you transform the characters into the 12 principle of animation motion. You can apply stress and squash. You can apply basically exaggerations. You can easily animate them accordingly to what you want. Okay, so right now, okay, let's just say, sir, I want to design character with legs. Easy here, guys. That's susah pun. Alright. Either one, okay? One way, other way around, right? Okay? I have basically the color that I choose just now, right? Then I draw basically the legs. See? Through. Send to back. Okay? And then I duplicate and send to back. Arms. There. And then I draw basically the shapes. Okay. Dah jadi dah. Alright, this one. I duplicate. Transform, rearrange horizontal, flip horizontal, and then I move into back. Settle. All right. I want to do more from here. Duplicate first. Let's just say I want to design a character with neck. Select first, and then draw the neck. See? And then group them up. Group them first, send to back. At the neck. Right. This is only example there, right? How to apply the process of working. It doesn't mean you have to draw the same character like this. But I want to show the process of working. See, I duplicate more. I don't like these eyes. I want to use these eyes into my characters. Okay. Pinjam dulu this one. This one can become what? Glasses kan? Oh, boleh. See? Let's just say I combine this one together. Group, I group and then I break apart. Okay, this one I didn't show. Okay, break apart, Control B, and then I group again. So that means this particular two object become one. Break apart, Control B, Control B, until they become a shape again. Break apart. Break apart. Basically, you can actually go through. Where is it? A modifier. This one, Control B, break apart. Okay. Now basically I can actually change this one. Let's just say I don't like this color because it's not too contrast, and use other colors there. they become basically like glasses. Another changes, right? Every changes that I make sure I duplicate them. Why? Because we can see the difference from there. Now, basically, I don't want to use this one as the eyes. Okay, I can delete that first because why? Because we want to arrange different kind of shapes. Okay, I can still use the colors if I want to, but now I fill in the color first with the shape of the eyes. Okay, like this. And then send to back first, then I can change the size. Change the size. Then duplicate more. Okay, there. Then I can rearrange. So I have different kind of shapes, different kind of eye formations. Okay. This is something that you can start with there, okay? But for me, it all depends on your skill and your needs and your kind of ability that works. Remember what I say, when you design characters, you sketch first and you know basically what you want. Of course, you can find some inspiration from other people's works, but never praise, copy 100% from them. The best way that you can do, you get inspirations, but you develop your sketches based on the structures, then you draw back again, okay, from your sketches. That's how basically I start with before this. Because why? Because I have more confidence at that time, okay, in the early stage, when I sketch using my own drawings, so I can trace and redraw back again my characters more efficiently there, okay, using the Adobe Animate. Because our mind has to be slowly transition between the conventional way into the digital kind of method. That's normal, guys. I also have that kind of situation there previously. But right now, nowadays, basically, I can do both kind of things because we have experience, coordinate, how to coordinate basically our lines, strokes, techniques, skill, that right? Okay, we have that used to it. So now the character doesn't have mouse cursor. Let's just say that someone say like that, right? What we can do is select all the first, rearrange them back, select all, Control A, and then can move around. See? So what you can do, okay, let's just say character ni tak ada mouse cursor, okay, ada, boleh buat anything we can do there. So you can draw first the mouth like here, like this. For example, a simple mouth like this one there, right? Select them, group that first. Group always, okay, group the object. Put right here, for example. Then you can scale. Right. Duplicate, can duplicate, can duplicate, right? See? That's the thing. So that's a good thing about Adobe Animate, right? This is the good thing about it. You can duplicate the object, okay? You can reuse the object that you use. Okay, so you save more time to develop the library of your work. Okay. All right. So a lot of things that you learn today, right, in very simple object. This character, we can continue to work still, right? I just say I want to draw something from here, okay, based on the same color there, right? Okay. Or maybe I want to use different color lah. All right. Okay, brown a bit. And the color combination is look at the skin tone. Colors there, right? Then the eyes, all right, I start using the a bit more brownish. And then the eyes colors, okay, the pupil look a bit more like this. And then brushes, okay, you see the difference there, guys. When you start working with the highlight, here, the color, the character look more alive, rather than we using the pupil eye without highlighter. Okay, so you can see the difference from there. From here, I want to design the characters look a bit more like a human. What I can do, this is the magic happens that way. I want to draw ears. start with a shape like this, simple shapes. Bring to front. If you look how actually I designed them, right, okay, and group them up there, right? This one I have already grouped. That's why they look transparent. I can design basically the ears shape. See? That why basically I didn't put the ears like this, because it will look fake. All right. So what I can do, I using pencil tool to cover this one. Then I can fill in the color. How to fill in the color? Let's just I don't remember the color that I use. Double click back again. Eyedroppers. Double click to the shapes. Fill in. And then double click to the line. Delete. Voila. Then you can combine that. See? And this one also you can duplicate. You can modify, transform, flip horizontal, and send to back. See? 3/4 view. Okay. That's basically something that we can do basically for ourselves. Okay? It doesn't mean we have to draw the whole thing using the conventional way, but we still need the sketches that we use. Okay? Right. Hey, mulut ni, right? Lips. Okay, right here. Oh, blue line. Okay, design apa? Right, blue line for the lips. So it's not a, you have to remember one thing when you design the characters right here, right? You actually have to act like a multimedia design student. Okay? So that means we work with design. We don't actually work as a conventional or conservative kind of what we call that. People actually work on it. So from here, let's just say you want to create a nose lah. So tak ada nose ke, tak ada hidung ke. I start with the basic shape, right? Okay, now we say I can draw the nose from outside first. Okay. Now, basically the nose there, right? Let's just say I draw the nose like this. Group that first. And then I want to use different colors there. All right. Let me. And then I use different colors. For example, fill in, double click, delete, and then click outside. Click outside, okay, to go to the scene back again. And then I put right here. I arrange basically the line art. This is one way that I actually can design. I'll design the character. There's a lot of way you actually can apply. Then eyebrow. If you look back again, the choice of color that I use, I never touch black first. Okay, the eyebrow. I can design like this. I can design like this, right? And then group that first. And then put it right here. I can adjust the size. Then I duplicate, modify, transform, flip horizontal there, right? See? So I have the template of my face characters there. From here, now what body? All right, duplicate. Okay, duplicate first. So as long as everything has been grouped separately. Okay, grouped separately there, right? From here, of course, okay, if you don't use other kind of those templates, you can leave it right here first. Okay, jangan lupa that, those kind of things. Ini pun, right, this one, okay, you can put it outside. This one also you can put outside. Okay, this one, you put it right here. So right now, this is the head template. Body template, you want to draw, you can draw. Okay, remember the head scale. I'm using 1 head scales, 2 head scales. Okay, a bit like this. Just rearrange. Right, see? Two head scale there, right? I bend a little bit. It could be. But human scale sometimes a bit kind of what we call that tricky, okay? So you have to be careful with it. That's why you have to design properly based on whatever that you understand and how it works. Yang ni, see, I have duplicate there, right? Now my job basically right now to draw basically the legs, all right, the body, the legs itself, all right. Another way that I can do from here, because I can actually rearrange the whole thing back again later on, all right. Okay, I will draw basically the body combined together. Like this, see? All right, and then I will draw basically, okay, the line works, it's dark brown. Okay, the colors of the, he's wearing a pants. And then the body there, okay? What color that we can use? Maybe this color. All right. And then using brushes again. Yeah. For example, like this. And then fill in the colors there. Okay, macam you pakai t-shirt there, right? Okay? That's the thing. You see? That's the difference there, right? To design basically the arms and hands, I don't have to use a conventional way. Okay? Then I can use also this one to balance them up. See? Okay, the arrangement of the alignment of the hand. The arms and the hands has to be balanced up the sides together. The hands, while we got the fingers, I improvise a little bit. There. Why I actually draw like this one, right? Because when I want to design another position, see, easy for me to work. This one you have to watch a lot of cartoons. All right, but make sure everything is separately been designed. What else there? Okay, the legs. I can design the leg look like this. I can design also the leg have a limbs. Drop them up, send to back. It is also not quite convenient for me. Right? I don't like those kind of design. What I can do, I actually can make it the legs like this. You see? Yeah. What it mean there, right? Okay? I draw a floating legs. Okay, floating foot there, right? One more thing there, okay, you can do to explore. But if you still want to draw the proper legs, go ahead. There. See? Groups. Select and groups there. It could be there, guys. But make sure you can control the characters properly. Okay. Okay, there. Okay. Rearrange there properly from there. So you have to be smart when you come to design the characters. I start with the character there, guys, because one of the reasons they're going to be go back again into your process of working later on. Next week, we start with the bouncing ball. Doing bouncing ball is not that hard. To make it bouncy ball look more interesting, basically, it's going to be challenging. Okay, that's why I start with this one. Okay, that means for today, you start planning. You can actually start to exploring basically your design and your character at the same time. As long you know the concept of working, okay, with your kind of design accordingly, okay, to your needs that to work with your characters. okay, with your kind of purpose of working with your Adobe Animate kind of tools. What are the tools that we use today? Okay, brush tools, all right, move tools, selection tools there, right? And then the freeform tools. Did we use erasers? None. Okay, pencil tools, brush tool, and also make sure you click to the use pressure and then fill in the colors. We use a color mix and color swatches. All right, we double click basically right here to the object if you want to make some changes. And then if you want to draw some hair, same goes to this one. Start with the, let's just say to draw, okay, I will draw the hair right here. What kind of hair that I'm going to draw? Let's just say like this. There. This one. See? Start with this one first. Group that first. Double click back again. And you can start to draw the hair. See? Double click back again. Okay, you don't have to double click that because they're already on the group there, right? Inside the group, kind of what we call that room. You cover these areas because you want to fill in the colors there. Okay, what color that you're going to use? Maybe this color. Purple. We try first. This is how basically I do the works there, right? I'm playing around with the colors that I use. Okay. And fill in. Some area that zoom in and fill in there, right? Okay. Now we have the hair. See? So to design the characters for Adobe Animate, this is the process that you have to go through. You cannot actually draw the whole thing in the same what we call that areas without group them up. Fill in. Okay, let's just say I want to draw basically the hair a bit more longer there, right? Okay. I can draw like this one, see, for example. The curly kind of shapes. Group, of course, they will put into in front and then you send to back. Control, alternate, arrow key. This one can fill in color. Double click back again, fill in color, click outside. Click outside that you can get the right. Enough. Shapes the right. See? This is basically the fundamental way of working with those designs. Okay. So a lot of things that we can do using the brush tool there, guys, okay? That's why I emphasize you guys to work with the brush first. Okay, don't try to draw without a brush stroke curl upper curl. Why? Because it's hard for you to control. You need to learn the concept of working with the tool there first before we're going to go more further. Okay, I have a few number kind of sample that I've done before. For example, like this one, okay? All the things that you need to know, right, okay, to design. Okay, I'm using basically the same brushes too to design the character. So, but I always start with the basic shapes. All these characters using the basic shapes. But the best way, basically, I do the works because I can actually duplicate and I also can rearrange and redraw accordingly to what I need. It's all based on our drawing skill there, guys, to come up with the ideas of working with the expression, the impression, the gestures for our design. Okay? There's no kind of special tool basically you guys can use to rearrange to make it the design more interesting. Okay? This is how actually you design the process that you can process your characters. Okay, other than this kind of characters, I also start with for example, like this durian boy, okay, characters. I also do the separate kind of what we call that design. See, double clicks. Okay, see the whole things will separate there. Okay, but not this one. This one is the whole what we call the object lah. Okay, but when I animate them, you see the right. When I animate them, okay, easily for me to work, and I didn't use a lot of layers. How many layers did I use? One layer only to apply all the motions there, right? And the whole motion basically came from the 5 keyframe of motions. Before I add more in-betweens to make it more smoother there, guys. Okay? That's why my kind of way of working with the characters and Adobe Animate kind of teaching, I'm not actually giving you guys a technical part only or mechanical part only there, right? I show you guys how to finish your works more faster. At the same times, you can get the result more quicker, okay, when you actually design the characters properly. Okay, when you plan all the characters properly, right? Okay. So this is basically the method that I actually teach the students. If you go through properly right here, you don't have to think too much. Okay, the process of thinking is based on how actually design, knowing the tools, and what kind of character that you're going to use. So spend more time designing the character first. Make sure you can balance up basically the motion, proper motion together, proper kind of proportion together, and then you can start to design the works from here. So if you look back again, the designing process that I go through right here, there, right? Okay, let me add another layer there first. My kind of way of working, generally, right? Okay, if you look carefully, okay, square. This is 1 scale, 2 scale. 2 scale of it. Tapi I not doing what we call that accurately. Only a free form. Okay? Good enough. Then you can balance up, okay, between these two, what we call the position, okay, the body, can put in half auto, or maybe half an inch maybe from there, right? Okay? What's the name? Okay, and always start with 3/4 view. Don't start with front view, okay? Because front view, sometimes we actually can rearrange, okay, like this character, for example, there, right? Of course, the hair can be changed a bit. But the eye formations, normally, for front view, this one, of course, you have to delete first. You have to put right here. You have to adjust a bit. The ear position has to be balanced, like this. Object, transform, flip horizontal, put right here. Near the eye is basically going to be right here. Eyebrow kena right here. You can send at the like this. Okay. If you work with the, if you try to work, okay, with layers, I think a bit more complicated. Because I never use layers a lot, okay, to arrange my characters. I rather work like this. But of course, okay, if you look at the design itself, the size kecil a bit, and then you rearrange closer the eyes together. Once you get used to it, easy for you to work. Ini, all right, you bring the icon point over there, and then you can rearrange. Okay. The mouse also, there, okay, you can actually mix them up. You can actually combine. Okay, kalau front view normally look like this. Okay. The hair, of course, again, you have to rearrange. They're not supposed to look like this. All right. So what you can do, you can duplicate them first, or maybe you can rearrange. Normally, if I want to do the right thing, I will use another method that works. How? I duplicate this one. Okay, I copy this one. And I try to click to the next frame, the second frames. And I go to insert, modify. Mana? Sorry guys, okay. I right click over here and then click to the blank keyframes. Okay, doesn't have any frame, right? You paste the character just now. And don't forget to open up onion skin. Ini basically is the most important thing. Okay, you go to onion skin, you rearrange them back. You can duplicate also if you want to. All right. And then when you delete these files, for example, you have this one, right? Don't delete first, put it on the side. Now, basically, you can draw the hair accordingly to the style that you want. Because you work with the front view, kan? So what you can do, of course, the sideburn right here lah. Okay, the sideburn right here. Then you want to draw basically the hairstyle. It's supposed to be right here. The hairstyle should be right here. Like this. A bit changed lah, right? Okay. Maybe this one also like this. This one you have to sketch for guys, okay? If you draw a free form like what I did right now, a bit kind of difficult for us to make some changes there, right? But this one basically I just do it spontaneously there, okay? Based on the lesson that we want to go through. Kalau you dah dapat, again, and then you can do it. All right. You have the front view. Ini you have to rearrange a bit. Because we still want to show basically the what we call that, the echo, right? Okay, the tail of the curly hair. Okay. This one is not quite accurate, but good enough basically. The legs, kalau front view, they become like this. Modify, transform, flip horizontal. Okay, the arrangements of the, make sure they same alignment. Okay. Nampak? Can you get it? So we have front view. Even though not quite accurate. Then you can actually cut this one because you already grouped. You can move back again further right here. Okay? So you have the characters in front view. Side profile also the same thing later on. But this one basically a lesson that we're going to go through on week 5, if I'm not mistaken, right? But I give you guys an advanced kind of method because that's important for you to know the potential of using brushes. Okay? All right, so far, any questions? Any question there, guys? No questions. Easy, right, to work on it? Bukan banyak tools pun. Okay? Brush tools. Make sure you use pressure. You fill in the color. You draw basically according to the basic shapes. But make sure you sketch first. Okay. Okay, like this one, all right? Where is it? Okay, I add new layers there first. This one I can delete there, right? Okay, make sure I lock this one if I want to. Let's just say I close this one first. Let's just say I bring these sketches over here. Okay, what you can do, right, okay, when you want to design based on your sketches. Okay, this is your sketches. Example right here. You add new layers, then you draw on top of it. Based on every single part that you draw, make sure you separate them. Okay, the challenging that you want to do right now, right, that you have, you need to experience right now is how to separate all these elements first when you sketch. Because you are not doing your sketches accordingly to the conventional way anymore. Okay, you need to draw them like this first, right? So last time when you draw the right, okay, the whole thing you draw in one layer there. Now you have to draw in different groups. That's the difference. Once you have this one, you group that first. You want to draw the head of the character there, right? You have to start to draw the whole head there first. Macam ni. Alright? Mana ni? Okay, sorry there, okay? I locked the sketches first. You have to draw right here. Okay, and then you have to group that first. The ears you have to draw separately. Then you group that first. Double click, then you will draw basically the patterns of it, right? Okay, of the ears. There. Then you can actually group them up and send it over. Okay, and you have to duplicate like this one there, right? So the methods basically that works is a bit kind of different. The techniques. That's how basically you can succeed to design the character. Okay, so a bit different. So the best way is sketch properly your design. Okay, my design basically combination between modern, English, what we call that Western, and combined with mixed up with anime at the same time. All right. So that's basically how actually my kind of working, my kind of way of working works. Okay, especially when it comes to design the character for Adobe Animate. You follow exactly that first, and then you can improvise them. Don't just simply draw or design the characters without knowing what are the responsibility that you need to have when it comes to animate the character later on. And every time that you want to draw separately, all right, make sure you group them up, and then don't forget to separate all the parts that you need. Not every part, that part important for you to move around the character there, right? Okay. Okay, guys. This one, okay. Sketch first. Right. So all the things that I've done that before, like character development, maybe this one, all right? Same thing. Okay, the good part is, right, when you want to design something, you prepare the template at first. From the template, you can design a boy or girl kind of character, that female or male characters, like easily. Have your own template and then start to do it. Don't in the early stage, of course, you can explore multiple kind of design. But once you confirm, make sure you use that one particular kind of design as a template, and then you can rearrange any kind of character that you want. You can draw aliens, you can draw creatures, you can draw female, male characters based on the same template. And if you look back again, I always sketch in front, in 3/4 position at first. Make sure the character have the same kind of alignment in order for us, for you to easily to work with your design. Like this one, see? Alignments. So the placement of the leg also in the same alignment, right? This character, basically, they have one scale, two scale, I think, right? Still have a 2 scale there, right? Almost 2 scale kind of characters. It can be arranged. All this kind of thing can be arranged, the guy, don't worry, okay? But I'm not, see, I separate them up. If I want to make this one is more scalar, there I get scalable, okay, I rearrange it. But still the proportion look right. Hands positions, see, make sure the hands, the arms can reach basically the area. That's going to be balanced. Okay. Okay, guys. Any questions? Any inquiries there? No. Okay, so after this, make sure you guys practice first using brush. Start to sketch it up, all right? And then you can actually get to know first the tools, okay? My suggestions is the best one using brush, but don't use thin line, using solid, thick kind of line reference. Practice your hands to work on it, okay? And prepare your sketches properly. You draw on top of the layers there, okay? That's the thing. So don't actually apply too much layers, okay, but apply groups in order for you to make some arrangement back again to your characters. Every single element that you saw right here have been separate. Even though basically the small parts are right, okay? It's important for you to understand things works. But for me, I will not do all this kind of complicated kind of design first. As I say, I will start with a very simple design. Then I will move around, right? Because using this kind of character, this kind of design, also I can do a lot of things. This one, right? I can duplicate. I want to make some adjustment on the exaggerations. Oops. I can rearrange. Patch. And then this one can move a bit. We can see the difference from there. Then I can actually just a bit like this. Then this one can be rearranged. See? You can see the post motion from there. Because we work with the post-to-post animation, guys. That's why we need all this kind of knowledge in order for us to control, conduct, and design the animation for the characters. Okay? All right. Okay, if you don't have any questions, okay, good luck basically with your practice. I'll see you guys around next week. I believe our practical class, okay, for Monday, for tutorial class for Monday will be replaced. Today is a replacement for today kind of public holiday. All right, later on the attendance will be taken, okay, after basically we end up basically the sessions, okay, they're based on the automated kind of Gmeet kind of attendance. And once basically I arrange the replacement on maybe on the what we call that on third weeks, okay, week 3, then you don't have to come now. Okay, I just keep the attendance, right? But for next week's on replacements for tutorial 1 hour, we will done basically advanced also later on. Okay. Okay, guys. So tutorial next week for online session, if I'm not mistaken, if we're going to work on it, I want to see some progress on the lesson that I've been given today. Okay, I want to see what are the things that you've been working on. Okay, you can design character, design whatever that you want first. I want to see basically how it works. Okay, what are the results from there? Okay. Okay, so good luck, all the best. Have a good kind of holiday for today, alright? And thank you for joining the sessions, guys. Adobe Animate, the best way you can buy also from Shopee, isn't it, right? Okay, and then you track them out. I also doesn't use Adobe Animate right inside my PC home, okay, because I quite comfortable with this Adobe Flash 8. But for you guys, better use basically Adobe Animate, okay, so you can see, you can actually work progressively, okay, using basically the whatever that we have provide also in our lab. Okay. So thank you very much. Have a good day. Happy working day, guys. Okay, enjoy the process of working. And this is basically my sharings sessions, okay, for our first practical sessions that we made for the first week. All right. So I see you guys around. Thank you very much. And have a good day there, guys. So sign off.